So welcome to our precipitation lab. And when you open the link, you'll find that, excuse me, you have this big water tank. It says H2O right here, so you know it's got water in it. And these are the reactants involved, and all you have to do is hit the button and it adds it into solution. And nothing's happening. So we also have, and I'll explain how we make it happen here. We have a reset button, we have a run checkbox, and if you want, you can even make it full screen. All right, so what I'm going to do, I've got the run button checked, so as soon as I start this, everything's going to happen. And we'll add a reactant, and notice that as soon as it's in solution, it's dissociated and they go bouncing around and so on and so forth. So we can add whichever one of these other reactants we choose. Notice that we've added sodium sulfate. Notice there's a little 2 next to the sodium, which means there's 2 of them. Sulfate's a polyatomic ion, so it doesn't dissociate, it stays together. And they bounce around and so on and so forth. At any time, you can hit the run checkbox to pause the action. At any time, you can reset. I'm going to ask you to take screenshots of some of your reactants and some of your products. It may be easier to capture a screenshot with the run button unchecked. So, for example, if one of your reactants is barium chloride, keeping the run button unchecked will freeze the action. And then you can go down here and get your screenshot ready to go. And I'll take a new screenshot here. Let's get this out of the way. And here is my screenshot of the reactant. I can copy this, I can save this, I can do whatever I want. If you get a reaction that produces a precipitate, a good example would be one of these guys, and we hit run. Look what happens when we get a precipitate. The 2 ions combine to produce a precipitate that literally falls out of solution and lands on the bottom of the water tank with a squishy sound like this. Nah, you don't really worry about that. But if I am asking you to capture a screenshot of your precipitate on the bottom of the water tank, this is what we mean. All right? You can add as many of these as you want, but it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get more precipitate, and you can always reset at any time. All right? So you're going to want to provide screenshots of your results. All right, so our 2 purposes are to fill out our data table. In other words, which of these reactions produce precipitates, and then we're going to choose one and use that as our example, and that's where we'll get our screenshots from. So I'll be standing by online if you have any questions, and good luck.